Bill Maher's why upcoming Orpheum Theatre show may be his last in Minnesota. HBO's Real-Time host calls his book, What This Comedian Said Will Shock You, a labor of love. We're used to Bill Maher throwing curveballs, but in May he delivered a real doozy. On his podcast, Club Random, he told guest Jerry Seinfeld that he may retire from the stand-up circuit before the end of the year. That means his appearance at Minneapolis Orpheum Theatre on Saturday, as part of the WTF tour, may be a farewell to local fans. Maher has a long association with the Twin Cities. He filmed his first HBO special at St. Paul's Fitzgerald Theatre in 1995 and has kept returning to the market like clockwork. He chatted recently by phone about possibly giving up road gigs, the success of his new book, What This Comedian Said Will Shock You, and why this 22nd season of HBO's Real-Time with Bill Maher won't be his last. I was surprised when you said you might give up stand-up because I know how much you love it. I always assumed you would give up the TV show first. Hey, I love them both. It's like having two kids. You don't know which one you love more. I would miss stand-up, but the travel is getting to me. But I don't want to make any formal announcement and then wake up and say, what the hell was I thinking? I don't want to be like The Who or the Eagles. Remember when they said they wouldn't reunite until Hell Freezes Over? And then they named their comeback tour, Hell Freezes Over. I love that. At least they owned it. I think I could do TV as long as they will have me. I'm still at the top of my game. I'll be 70 in a year and a half. Mick Jagger is on tour now. He's 80 and the reviews are great. And comedy is not like music. I don't have to jump around and be sexy. I look at the news, give you a point of view and make you laugh. I don't know why I can't do that when I'm 80. You got into the podcast game kind of late. What made you decide to do it? And how have you made it different from the hundreds of other podcasts that comics are doing? Hey, we did make it different. Very different. Podcasts are usually stage-eye and brightly lit. It looks like they are on a set with everyone wearing headsets and a producer looking things up on a computer. On mine, no one else is in the room. Cameras are built into the walls. Exactly what it's like sitting around and smoking pot with me. And then there's the book. Because it's a collection of the editorials you've done at the end of Real-Time, I'll bet a lot of people think it was just a matter of regurgitating old material. I assume it was a lot more work than that. Hey, it was a labor of love. Thank God for the strike or I wouldn't have had time to do it. Just reading them from the past 10 or 15 years took a lot of time. Then I had to cull the best from that and put them in an order that made sense, update a lot of stuff, and get rid of redundancies. But I'm glad I did it. It's every good thing I said in one book. Is that why Real-Time has never won an Emmy? I'm not going to get into that. The reason we haven't won an Emmy is not because it wasn't the best show. It might be because it is the best, because it's the bravest show, but that's not what's rewarded. The Emmy voters are virtue signalers and my politics doesn't jive with theirs. Who would you love to have on the show that hasn't come on yet? I could start with Bill Clinton, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So many celebrities think they're not smart enough. Well, maybe they're not smart enough for Real-Time. I give you that, but they can come on the podcast. That's not really about politics. But publicists are always protecting their people from me. It's so frustrating. If this does end up being your last stand-up show in Twin Cities, it's going to end a pretty long tradition. Hey, it does bring back memories. Right after that HBO special in 1995, I took a Midwestern vacation with my girlfriend at the time. We rented a car and saw Mount Rushmore and the Badlands, which is like the Grand Canyon that needs a better publicist. I've never done anything like that before or since. Some of it was corny, but it was cool. What can I say? Love America. I always wondered Letterman ever got tired of having to do the top 10 list. Are there parts of Real-Time that you wish you could